we're gonna start with one that shouldn't be too divisive. Kathleen
Yeah.
Kennedy.
Right. Yeah. Everyone loves this person.
All
Sort
right.
of.
So I still stand by my prediction, Joe.
Yeah.
That okay. So it's been reported by was
Jeff
it
Snyder.
by Jeff Snyder that Kathleen Kennedy would remain head of Lucasfilm up until Q2 of 2025. So that is March of next year.
Right.
So I think that if
At
at
least.
least, right, at least, rumor, that's still a rumor. Um, her contract, I think, expires next month. I'm almost certain because it's the
Okay.
end of the fiscal year for Disney, and that was my prediction. Come October, more than likely it's gonna happen. It's saying that the reason that she's staying on for a little bit longer is because there's other projects in the pipeline. People can take over. I don't think that her leaving will have much impact. If anything, could potentially be positive impact to some of these projects. I again, and I've said it before, and I said it again, right? And I'll say it again. It, I admire her career. Her career is very, very illustrious, and she gave us and I don't want to say she gave us, right, but her involvement in some of the projects that shaped fandom as a whole, right, shaped my life
Sure.
for sure, right.
Yeah.
She's been involved with those, and I cannot stress enough how important she's been to the industry. Unfortunately, she was not the correct fit for Star Wars, and you know, I thank her for what she's done in the industry, and I thank her for giving us a ton of Star Wars, whether it be good or bad or okay, and or whatever. But it's time to go. It's time to go. I think it's time to go. We need a new set of a fresh new set of hands for Star Wars. Like we need it. And I know that they're still making money, but there's problems. There's glaring issues right now. And we'll go back and we'll talk. We'll come back to Disney in a few after we talk about something else that came out this week. But it's time for them to refocus. And the only way that I can see Lucasfilm refocusing would be with her not being there. And it's unfortunate. It is an unfortunate thing to say, but I think it's just a harsh truth. This comes in that this happened earlier this week, or this rumor started circling earlier this week, and just today I saw rumors that the Taika Waititi movie's not happening, and that they have cut off Leslie Hetland from everything. I think the Taika Waititi movie would have been interesting. I think cutting ties with Hetland is the right choice. But that's where that is, Joe. What the heck is happening?
I believe this source. First of all, Jeff Snyder this is the exact same guy that broke the story just a week ago or 2 weeks ago around the Bao de Mayo information. And he also was the same person that reported on Robert Downey Jr. coming on to play Doom. He ended retracted and said, "Hey, this is not going to happen," according to people I talked to.
He knew.
And then, well, he was actually right when I'm sitting in
Yeah.
Hall H and go, "Oh my gosh, he was right." So you can check the track record. I'm not just. We wouldn't talk about on the show if it was from certain websites that Obed and I know that are a little too cosmic-y and not very accurate. In there, you can read between the lines. But there's certain sources, but this one I actually believe to be true. You have said this. You had said this from the Chapek days. We can run down thing where you were like, "Yo, she's gonna outlive Chapek," and well, history tells us that is absolutely true. How long does she outlive it? You and I have been questioning this for a while. On a personal basis, I think I was in denial when the Skywalker trilogy was continuing between 7 to 9, because I kept thinking it's Kathleen Kennedy. It can't be that bad. There's things that are going to be done that it's going to absolutely put Star Wars back to where it should be. She's the right person. They'll figure it out. There's probably other factors, whatever. But as time has gone on and I look back, and that's the great thing about when you can step back and time goes on and you can reflect properly, you can analyze, well, this person made these decisions that led to this, that led to that led to the other. And even if they maybe were not the exact reason why all of these things happened, like, let's be real, J.J. Abrams had a part to play in some of this stuff. Ryan Johnson had a part to play in some of this stuff. Pablo Hidalgo had a part to play in some of this stuff. There's a lot of people. Dave Filoni probably had a part to play in some of this stuff. I mean, look, people are like, don't talk about Dave. We love him.
Being honest, yeah.
There's multiple people.
There's shared responsibility in this thing. Right, yeah.
For sure. This is not me defending her. This is me actually saying that it's on her because she captained the ship. And at the end of the day, anything that happened that was problematic was on her watch.
Yep.
She either gave it the stamp of approval or she vetoed it.
Right.
And the things that she approved are the things that were so glaring and so problematic at times. Not everything. You and I have had our conversation a long time about this. You can be mad at her for the Acolyte, but then you can't go, oh, but the Mandalorian isn't her. No, she's the president of Lucasfilm. She let the Mandalorian happen.
She was there on those Mandalorian like roundtable things that they did. Yeah.
Absolutely. Same thing for the beloved Andor. Let's be real. She was the president. She greenlit that thing. She let them cook and clearly made the right decisions there. The last season of Clone Wars, those final episodes, these things, like, she's made good decisions as well. I think sometimes the negative just is so glaring and clearly outweighs the positive, in my personal opinion. And you had said it perfectly when you said, thank you for what you have contributed to fandom, but it's time to step aside. It's time to step down and let somebody else do another job. So I can only hope that's the case. But the main point about this is set people's expectations. It may be a while before we see her leave, because if this source that I 100% believe, this guy putting this out there, it is a very strong possibility it may not be till end of 2025 that she's actually saying, yo, I'm gone. We will see. Time will tell. It's interesting.
Right. Well, I mean, based on some other YouTubers, she's been gone since like 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they cut off her email like 6 months ago or something?
Yeah, she's a ghost right now. She's a force ghost.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
but can I add one more thing?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
One other thing I also want to add though is, like, you were just talking about like the Leslie Headland being removed, and we talked last week about the Acolyte being canceled. To me, those are also signs, and we talked about this a little bit before too during some of the Acolyte stuff. How I had heard from another person in the face saying, hey, like, I know people at Disney that are telling me, like, they know that there's problems with Star Wars, then they fully understand that things aren't right. And in spite of that, they allowed these things to continue on because, like, we know it's not right, but we're going to still keep letting this happen, and maybe things will turn around. And I think they finally, like, Kathleen Kennedy's the one who's also saying, Leslie, you're out. Some of these, they act like you're done. Maybe the roost is coming to crow. Maybe she is starting to have an aha moment. There's other projects that are in development. There are projects like Taika Waititi's project that sounds like it's been deaded. I'm not saying that there's a redemption around the corner for her. I still think it's time. But at the end of the day, don't be surprised if the tune starts to change a lot while she's still in the captain's chair, because I think it already is starting to happen. There's signs of it.
She may do it just to salvage what's, I don't think she can leave and she'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
that's not the
No.
That's not the problem here. The problem here is that based on rumors that we talked about before, right? She wants to leave in a good note. She wants to leave with a W, and maybe that W is, say, let's win the fans back or something like that, right? And that could be it, right? Because or maybe at least leave with some hype, like they give us like Force Awakens 2 or something. and
Well, the Rey movie could
right.
very well be that's what she's pinning her hat on.
Right. But then goes back to the director of the movie.
Yeah.
Just talk again. People talk too much. People talk too much, and like, what? I don't know why they keep doing these shows, because they know, bro. They know how Star Wars fans are, and they keep talking, dude. It's like, hey, it's fine if you want to say, hey, so yeah, I was picked, but we want to make a Star Wars movie that, you know, that all fans can embrace, all, you know, both OG fans and prequel fans and the newer fans that started with Rey. So we want to build something, and we want to make something that everyone can come together and embrace as fans. But then no, they start talking. It's like, it's about time that a woman took charge. And
Right.
don't. Why? Why are you doing this? Why?
We understand, like we said before, we know that, like, yes, politics and these things always exist in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it was always done in a very subtle, like, just a part of the narrative. It wasn't like trying, like,
part of
George
the
wasn't trying to
narrative.
preach. He wasn't trying to
Right.
preach to us about taxes.
But the message was
taxes
there.
were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we were on the same wavelength. You know what I mean? Like, he's not trying to, like, you know, let me preach to you about capitalism. He's not trying to do that stuff. But it was there, like you said. So, you know, there's a right way to go about it. I don't
Yeah.
know that these guys seems like the check marks were the priority and the story was clearly secondary. And so, you know, they miss opportunities.
I don't know. It's like every time that you know, someone's involved with a Star Wars project, it's like, hey, so you're doing a new Star Wars thing. What are you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna troll the fans and we're gonna make people uncomfortable. Bro, why? Why? Why are you talking? Why are you even talking, dude?
The South Park thing.
It's like, yeah, right. The South Park.
You can look it up.
It's man,
It
bro.
sounds like a joke, but
It's
there's
so
something
accurate.
funny.
It's so
Yeah.
accurate. It's so accurate that it's so accurate that, you know, the way that South Park did it is really funny, but it's also the sad truth of the state of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. And you know,
The Force is female and Star Wars is gay and all these.
I know.
You're like, hold on a second.
It's-
You're just preaching a
it was
point.
like the same.
and You're not just making the content.
Right.
You know.
And it was like there was a reason why Disney took Rachel Zegler off of the marketing stops for Snow
Totally.
White, because she talked too much.
Totally.
And you know, it is what it is, right? It's like, you don't see, like, James Gunn. James Gunn is the best example, right? How to do it
good
right.
example.
It's the best example of how to do it right. It's like,
100%.
hey, James
Modern
Gunn,
day.
you're in DC now. What are you gonna do? Piss off the fans? No. I was like, hey, we're gonna rebuild this thing and we're gonna make it where fans can be proud of being DC fans again. Bro, is that so hard?
And step away and make a movie.
Right. And make a movie, and then give your creators the liberty that and the freedom that they need to be able to build these projects, right? Is that so hard? No. Right?
I know.
You can just not say nothing, dude. And
Most movies, they don't make those kinds of public statements. You know, you don't see most. It's for some reason when it comes to Star Wars, I don't know. They are just poking at the bear every time. The different creatives that are being brought in, that just makes no sense. It's not that hard, guys.
yeah, exactly.
You should have PR training if you work in Disney. I thought that was a thing. I don't know, man.
Right. Well,
I don't know.
Like, the PR should tell you, is like, don't talk about this thing. Like, especially
We know a little bit about
and that's what
marketing.
yeah, and
those
again,
things.
the thing
You don't
that
do
irks me,
Come
the
on.
thing that irks me is, like, they know how Star Wars fans are, and they, every chance they get, bro, it's like, why are you just talking nonsense instead of just trying to bring the fandom together? You just, like, pushing us away. And
Right.
I don't know. Whatever.
And
I
look,
didn't watch
he's-
The Acolyte. I'm not gonna watch it, but I am excited for Scott and Crew. So we'll see.
Look, but we just had a whole discussion about things that we didn't like and didn't appreciate about what's happened with Star Wars. We never once use vulgar language. We never attack somebody like on
Oh
a personal
no.
basis. Talk about that's us fans were doing. Don't go out of here watching a video of ours and then go flood
But I
some
can still
the
call
create
I
the,
can still call
right
Mike Zero like
right go find I don't know Leslie Headland's Instagram and then flood her with these like don't do that. That doesn't change anything. That
doesn't
just
change
makes you
anything.
look like a sad human.
Right, it just
You
makes
know?
it worse, right? And there's a way to approach this, right? And the way to approach it is objectively. And a lot of people talk trash about theory, and I think that for the most part, guy's on point.
I think he really cares about Star
He's-
Wars clearly.
exactly.
And I don't watch everything he does. But from what I
Right.
do see, I've never seen him go like how we just said, you guys need to go out there and you need to go flood the comments
No,
with this and this.
he's the
People who
opposite,
follow
yeah.
him, I'm sure they do
Yeah.
it. There are people who follow us that do things that we don't agree with, but we're never going to tell you to go and do these things because that's just not who we are.
No, and it's the same thing with gaming, right? I was like, oh, they made MJ ugly in the new Spider-Man, and
Right.
and now that we have some context as to some of the the company involved and all that, I'm not gonna get into it today.
Yeah.
That could be a Patreon episode, Joe. How's
Yeah,
that?
totally. Oh yeah,
We're
totally.
probably talk about that
discussion.
company, and talk about what's going on with at least Western gaming. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with gaming, right? Yeah, you don't like the character model, you don't have to go to the motion capture actress and go, hey, you're ugly, and this thing's ugly, and you look ugly in this thing. You don't have to do these things, bro.
No.
Like, why? There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason to just go and, vote, speak with your wallet. Talk with your wallet.
Yes.
Do
that's
what
fine.
I did for
Yep.
the Acolyte. Don't watch it. I said I'm not going to watch it because I disagree with
works.
the creator. And look now. Hey, you know what? There you go.
I'm
just
trying to find the statistic right now on the thing with the Acolyte, but you probably saw the same thing that again,
the $600,000 a minute or whatever.
which also came from the same guy,
Yeah.
Jeff Snyder. He put the exact thing. Like he's
The
been
stats,
on a
yeah.
roll recently.
Yep.
Cost $630,000
Per
minute.
minute.
of screen time.
Yeah.
Was canceled due to low viewership, and there are no plans to remove the series from Disney Plus.
Insane,
currently.
bro. Insane. $600,000 a minute.
I had someone text me a really interesting commentary from someone else talking about how Rings of Power got low reviews, but then it got a second season. You need to give things a chance for a second season, this whatever. And and it was an interesting commentary. But I said, those are two very different levels of content. Rings of Power, I can look at that and I can tell they spent money trying to make that
hour-long
show.
episodes, and they spend the money.
You can tell
You can
between CGI, makeup,
right. You can disagree
you
with
actually
casting
scale,
choices. You can disagree
totally.
with the plot, but
Story,
but
you could tell they spent money
but
where
they
they
spend the
needed to.
money, dude. Yeah.
This I don't know where that money went. Someone got robbed, Obed. That is where
This
did
looks
that
like
money
it
go
was
to?
it was filmed at Galaxy's Edge.
Dude, I don't understand.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where that money went. And that's probably why. Well, I mean, I guess we'll wait and see what happens with Kathleen
What a
Kennedy.
great first topic.
Yeah.